Me again. I just wanted to give you a quick little update on my little garden plot here. 2018 experiment. Start off with my little vegetalot, little raised bed. Got some green beans and potatoes in there, side by side. Planted a few other things, don't remember quite what, but lots of little potatoes from a few store-bought. Cut them up into slips and we'll see if they produce for me. Green beans are looking good. A little yellowing, so I just got some Epsom salt and some garden lime. Sprinkle a little of that on there and help those things out. Moving along to my straw bale garden, I ended up putting up this cattle paneling, 16 foot long, a little rebar in the middle, pressure treated posts on the ends, nice strong trellis for just put in my tomato seedlings. I've got 8 varieties here, and then I moved a few over to my little raised bed hoops that I'll show you in just a minute. But these are all indeterminate varieties. There may be a couple hybrids in there. Stuff from like Publix supermarket, like that Redland Sweet. I got in the middle San Marzanos because those are really great paste tomatoes. In between the other ones, you can see how close I'm planting everything together, and I'm not worried about that at all. I've done this before and had great success. My straw bales the first time around last year, I planted more than just tomatoes in it, so this is just exclusively tomatoes this year, and it's watering 6 times a day for 5 minutes. So that may be a little overkill, but I want to keep them nice and wet so they're heavy feeders and they'll be happy. And I just put these seedlings in yesterday and they're already standing up and very alert. They were starting to drop a little bit and under the weight and under the pressure being in a little seed starting trays, so I think that I made them happy by bringing them out here. Can't wait. Got some old German, Cherokee purples, purple calabash, Brandywine, San Marzanos along the whole middle. These are big red, I think hybrid tomatoes from a farm nearby. Another big red beefsteak variety. And then yellow pear, yellow bell tomatoes that just grow like wildfire. So eventually this whole trellising, if everything works accordingly, which I think it will be full. On both sides I got a little bit of space back there to walk around, but the trellising should keep everything upright and happy. Moving along to my hoop raised beds from reused straw bales. This one I'm just sort of randomly putting things in here. I got a bush bean in the middle there, some cantaloupes, a few little volunteer tomatoes, just whatever. This is more of a compost pile than anything. You can start to see some food scraps and stuff in there. And I'll probably just layer it up, and whatever survives does, and whatever doesn't will just help the fertility of the soil there. This one I believe I have a bunch of radishes and a big tomato volunteer. And then I planted a few cherry pepper varieties that along the edge as well. So that's nice, and I'll hopefully have a big bush of cherry tomatoes coming out of here. And then I've got my greens over here. I keep sprinkling more lettuce seed in the sparse areas, and that stuff's just coming up on its own. You can see a little red onion that we used in the kitchen. I sliced off the rooting part and stuck that in there. I recently planted some dill in here and waiting for that to come up. And then moving along to my tower gardens. I have one little slot left here on the 4th row down, but planted some sage, dill, oregano, lavender on the top. It'll get nice and tall and attract some pollinators. And over here I got chives, thyme, parsley, more parsley, and cilantro. Some of our favorite herbs to use in the kitchen. Around here, I'm starting to see a little grass popping up in areas because I failed to go get more cardboard. I was a little bit lazy, but I put cardboard underneath my straw bales at least, so that'll keep the weeds from coming up around that border. With border planting, it's like that, but you'll see a few little divots where I've planted some things, and we'll see if they come up. If not, no big deal, and I'll just have to keep on top of these weeds here. I'll probably go get, you can see the edge there, probably go get another truckload of free mulch from the dump, and that'll just add to the fertility in the soil, and I should say sand underneath, and keep the weeds down. So that's my setup this year. Everything's sort of automated on a timer and looking good. Can't wait to harvest some food out of here. It won't be long, maybe a month and a half, 2 months. When we approach summer is probably when I'll get my first harvest of tomatoes. There's a few little early varieties and stuff. We'll see. I just bought a bunch more seeds. I'm going to probably plant around the border here some zinnias, and throughout some sunflowers, different varieties, nasturtium. So I got a bunch of flower seeds to attract pollinators, as well as good bugs that are going to kill off some of the pests that are going to be attracted to this massive amount of growth that I'm planting here. And then I got some other things, some black-eyed peas. I'll probably stick in that larger bed, some beets, different varieties, a lot of things for eating and juicing. So that's my update. Cut it short, running on about 7 minutes now. This is my 2018 garden plot. I got green beans growing along the back there, along the fence, and we'll see if those come up. And then I guess before we leave you with this video, I wanted to show you my success with these pineapples. You'll see one coming up down there, and then there's another one down in there, and then I got a few bigger ones that are already showing their heads there, and another one coming up there. And along this whole fence, I was picking a pound off this fence every other day last year, and so I replanted pole beans or bush beans, I'm not sure which. Probably need to throw a little water on there. The mulch is kind of thin, but that was only out of 5 plants that took over this fence last year. So this year I'm pretty sure this fence is going to be full of green beans, and who knows, I'm going to have to start canning them, storing them, and giving them away, and maybe selling some bunches to neighbors and stuff. We'll see. Anyway, that's my little garden this year. I got some more stuff going on in the front, mostly ornamental, but I just wanted to show you all my progress. Have a good one. Peace.